day 19, and unfortunately the Casio did not make the video today. And kind of like, I'll just get into it. We had a crazy night last night at camp, and I'm not sure that I've even like fully processed it yet. But it was definitely the most scared I've ever been on trail ever. And I've done a fair amount of camping, spent 192 days on the AT, took my time. And I've had some scary encounters before with humans and animals, but last night was definitely the scariest. I won't get into like all the nitty gritty of it, but basically, we were at a campsite that was luckily pretty spaced out. Each of the camp spots were pretty spaced out with a lot of like trees in between. So it wasn't like we were just like right on top of our neighbors. But it was me, my hiking partner Power, and there were two others that were like quite a distance away. I'm not even sure if they fully like heard the commotion. And then there was a guy that rolled in about 10 p.m. and I could tell he was looking for a spot because I saw his headlamp like shining over like the tent site area. And anyways, very long story short, I think he was in some kind of mental health crisis, which, you know, obviously, like, I can't blame him for that, but just as being out in the woods, very far from civilization, and at 2 a.m., it was really, really, really scary. Basically, we woke up to like really loud, like full volume screaming, and we both thought it was maybe an animal attack of sorts, be it a bear, a mountain lion, whatever. But it woke me up out of like a dead sleep. But upon like listening to what was being vocalized, we realized it was not a bear attack. Basically, this guy was just like, I don't know, he was like screaming profanities, but also like having a conversation with someone that wasn't there, very loudly, and kind of like changing the dialect of his voice to where it almost sounded like two different voices, but I'm confident that it wasn't. And also like he was out of his tent pacing frantically back and forth with his headlamp on. And it's like, I don't know what to do in that situation. It's like, obviously it feels unsafe to intervene, right? But we were also like kind of close to him, like probably about 30 yards. Like I said, luckily there was like a lot of trees and whatnot between us, so we didn't have like direct sight of him. But sorry, I gotta change hands. My arm is getting tired. But yeah, it was scary enough to where for the first time ever in my backpacking career, I got out of my tent, grabbed just my knife and headlamp, and made a run for Lucy's tent, Power's tent, sorry. And climbed in her tent with her. She has a 2-person tent. And yeah, we were both freaking out. We came up with an action plan of like, this is what we're gonna do if this person approaches our tent, which is really scary to think about. Really scary. And yeah, so that was about 2 a.m. and it went on for, I don't know, maybe like 20-30 minutes or so, and then kind of calmed down. And then for the rest of the night I stayed in Power's tent, the two of us sharing one air mattress, one like Z-Lite foldable air pad, sleep pad, sorry. I have a lack of sleep, so my brain's not working. So two of us sharing one Z-Lite sleep pad and then her sleeping bag. So thankfully, I'm really, really, really thankful that like I didn't have to go through that experience alone. It sucks that Power had to go through that experience, but I think we were both very thankful to like have each other in that moment, because it was really scary. So yeah, neither of us like went back to sleep for the rest of the night, and we got up about 5, just after 5, and as quietly and quickly as we could packed away our tents and packed up and hiked out. And as we were hiking out, we saw the person. Luckily for us, they were heading northbound and we were heading southbound. I don't know if they're a thru hiker or not. I did not see any details of this person. I only know it's a guy because of the tone of the voice. And they were in a blue shirt. That's all I know. That's the only details I have. I never saw a tent. I don't know if maybe they were cowboy camping. I don't know any further details, and I'm considering reporting it to the like PCTA incident report, but you know, it's just like if I don't have any details at all, I don't know how helpful it will be to report that kind of thing. But yeah, so I just feel like I'm running on fumes right now. Like I already haven't really been sleeping very good, and then like this just like no sleep after that. Yeah, I feel like the lack of sleep is really gonna like catch up to me pretty soon. And it just sucks, like, you know, as much as I love camping and backpacking and whatnot, like it's just like, why do I feel like I always have to be scared of something, you know? Like if it's not the weather conditions, it's the critters and the bears and the mountain lions. And if it's not the critters and the bears and the mountain lions, it's men. And it's just like, I don't know how I can like fully enjoy my experience when like I'm always on edge, you know? And I think a lot of people, specifically women, can relate to that sentiment. And on top of all of this, today is probably gonna be like the hardest day in our stretch that we're doing, so that's great. I love that for me. But yeah. So I don't know how much I'll actually update today. I'm feeling very down right now, and like talking is hard. But yeah, we're gonna keep walking south and hope for the best. All right, bye. I'm gonna go get water and like try to like decompress a little bit. So yeah, hopefully vibes get better. So I didn't realize this morning that we were gonna have like a pretty major creek crossing or river crossing today. Let me get a little closer so you can see the status of it currently. spoiler alert, I came from over there, so I did survive. That was really scary. It's the second scariest thing that's happened to me today. We went up, way up, and the river like forks off into 3 different forks, and it was a little bit more manageable. I would say like mid-thigh height at the deepest, but the water is so strong, and like Power and I, we are not tall, you know, so it was really scary actually. But we did it, and we lived to tell the tales. We talked to some other ladies that crossed like kind of in this section, but it just looks really deep, and you can't really tell how deep it is until you're actually like in there. And the water, as you can see, is just like raging, so ooh, I hated that. And now we wait for the sun to cook the water out of my stuff. How long do we think it'll take? Who's surprised? Took my lunch break here, and my socks are still literally soaked. And I could put on dry socks, but there's no point because my shoes are also still wet. Yay! If anybody followed my AT journey, you'll know that like wet feet are the bane of my existence. I'm very prone to athlete's foot, so not looking forward to this. I'm assuming this is a sandy river that we forded earlier. Check that out. Wow. I fear as though this is the trail, and I will be crossing somewhere down here. Whew, lots of sun exposure, and I did forget to put on sunscreen today. Yay, me, yay. Exactly as I suspected. Kind of cool though, actually. Trigger warning, about to show some real nasty feet. Ooh, and this is why I hate wearing wet shoes. This was after a 4-mile climb after the water crossing. That's pretty gnarly if I do say so myself. Anyways, but beautiful view. Tonight's dinner view, not too bad. This is where we just came from. That last little hike really sucked, not gonna lie. But yeah, I feel like we've walked around the perimeter of Mount Hood like 10 times now, but probably just once. We're gonna eat dinner here and then a few more miles down. That way we set ourselves up for a short day tomorrow. Second water ford of the day. Also did not know this was coming, just like I did with the first one. I think we're honestly gonna camp right there. It's super exposed, but like we are exhausted. Here's camp. So not sure if you guys can hear me over like the raging river down there, but I just kind of wanted to like wrap up today. I don't even really have anything to say, honestly. Like it's been a really tough day, like mentally and physically, and like the lack of sleep is like caught up to me, and yeah, it's just been a really hard day. I did meet a cool guy on trail that like we had connected previously on Instagram, and just so happened that like our paths crossed, so that was nice. But yeah, just I don't even have words to say because I'm so ready to like go to sleep. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then maybe we'll like chat more about it tomorrow. I don't know. Tomorrow is we planned a really short day, only 3.5 miles into Timberline Lodge, so should be a great day, hopefully. So we'll see.